Hello everyone. So welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we start with a new topic, that is prime factor calculation. So before start with the prime factor calculation, we should have some prerequisite background related to the concept. So basically in this particular lecture we're going to cover the prerequisite part of prime factor calculation. Then after that we're going to start with the prime factor calculation part in the problem solving. So before start with the topic, let's see where we are exactly now. Since already we have started with the exercise number 4 and where we have completed prime number generation. So now in this lecture we'll start with the prime factor part. Since already I told before starting the prime factor we should require some prerequisite related to the concept, and so we're going to cover the prerequisite part. So first we'll start with prime number and composite number. Since already we have the awareness about the prime number, but still I'm going to repeat for the better understanding. Prime number is nothing but the positive integer greater than 1 which is divisible by no other positive integer other than 1 and itself is called prime number. Hope the definition is clear to you now. So this is the example of prime number 2, 3, 7 and 11. If I'll take the example of 11, so 11 is a number which is divisible either by 1 or by 11, but no third number exists that can divide 11. So we can say 11 is a prime number. But make sure that prime number should be the number which is more than 1. 1 cannot be the prime number, right? Now I'll go to the second part, that is composite number. Composite number says that, definition says that a positive integer other than 1 and which is not prime is called composite number. Definition is very simple. Definition says that if the number is not a prime number, then we can say it is a composite number. But make sure that 1 cannot be the prime number and also it cannot be composite number. In general we can say 1 is neither a prime number nor a composite number. Now see the example of composite number. So 4 is not a prime number because 4 is divisible by 2. 12 is not a prime number because it is divisible by 6 and 4 and 2 as well, and 50, same case is there with the 50 and other numbers are there that can divide 50, right? Hence we can say 4, 12 and 50 are not a prime number. If it is not a prime number, then it is a composite number. Hope the definition is clear to you now. And after completion of the definition, we should know some notes related to the prime number and composite number that will help us in the problem solving part. First note is the number 1 is neither prime nor composite. I hope this point is clear to you now, right? Second point says that every positive integer greater than 1 has a prime divisor. This point is very important point. This point says that every positive integer which is more than 1, definitely if we will have prime divisor. For example, here I can say, suppose we have a number 10 and number 10 is a more than 1, right? So if you check the factor of the 10, right? The factor of the 10 will be 2 into 5, right? So 2 is also prime number and 5 is also prime number because 10 is a number which is divisible by 2 and as well as which is also divisible by 5, and both are basically prime number. So this point, second note says that, again I am repeating, every positive integer greater than 1 has a prime divisor, like 10 has a prime divisor, like 5, right? And 2 as well. If I take the example of 14, if I take the factor of 14, 14 will be equal to 2 into 7, right? So where 2 is also prime divisor and 7 is also prime divisor. Hence we can say second statement or second point is very true point, right? Again I am repeating, second point says that every positive integer which is more than 1, definitely it will have the prime divisor, right? Third statement is derived from the second statement only. So this statement says that every composite number means what? The number which is prime, right? Every composite number has a prime factor but not exceeding square root of n. So third point will going to help us in a problem solving. So for the time being, there might be the case you may not understand the importance of third point, but whenever we will come to the problem solving part or algorithm part, over there you will going to understand everything. So after completion of prime number and composite number, now I'll start with the new topic, that is, here we're going to see how to test whether the given number is prime number or composite number. Suppose here we have the number n is any number, right? And we want to test whether n is prime number or composite number. So how it will go to test? Now I'll see the procedure. So we'll go to the step number 1, and at the step number 1 what we'll do? First of all we'll find the square root of n, right? Whatever n is given, here we'll take the square root of n. Then after that we'll go to the step number 2, and at the step number 2 what we'll do? List down all prime number less than square root of n. So what we'll do at the step number 2? Square root of n is already calculated. So less than the number square root of n, whatever number is prime number, here we will going to list down all those number. Suppose n1, n2 and n3 and n4 are the prime number which is less than square root of n, right? Now I'll go to the step number 3. Step number 3 says that find the number from the list. This is the list, right? From this list we'll find the number that can divide n, this n, right? If n1 can divide n, or n2 or n3 or n4, if any number exists in the list that can divide n, it means that it is not a prime number, it is a composite number, right? If any one of the number from the list can divide n, it means that the given number n is a composite number. And if no number exists in the list that can divide n, it means that it is a prime number. Hope that all the steps are very clear to you now. This is the basically procedure to test whether the given number is prime number or composite number. On the basis of that, we can also calculate prime factor also. So this is the end of this lecture. From the next lecture, we're going to see the problem solving part, and over there we're going to learn prime factor as well, right? Thank you.